Hey guys, so I finally got to it. I finally got to the review of the BladeRunnerS Systems Alpha Beast, and that is this knife right here. So, first off, just want to say it is my favorite knife by far. I absolutely love this knife. I think that this knife is, you know, by far the best knife that you can get for the purpose of flipping. So, sorry if I sound a little bit sick. I am a little bit sick, so, you know. But, yeah, so we have a couple of knives to compare to here. We have, whoops, I'm hitting that tripod. Sorry about that. We have the 42, which everyone knows about. And since the 42s are becoming a little bit harder to find and stuff, and not as much people have them now, I brought out the Chimera to compare to because a lot of people have a Chimera. So there's a size comparison, bigger than the 42 and much bigger than the Chimera. Also, let's just throw out the 51 here. So let's do keep on hitting that tripod. Let's do a comparison here. So pretty bigger than the 51. So I'll keep all my comparison knives right here. So I'll start off with basically from the latch up, and I'll have all the what's it called, specs in the description, and I'll even roll them through the screen here right now. So there they are. So yeah, here's the latch, and I have to say I really do like this latch system. I do prefer the spring latch, but that's not really possible on this knife here, the Alpha Beast, because look at the 42 here. Put my light over here. There's the spring, and basically you can't have block spacers and a spring latch. So imagine block spacers here. You'd have to drill a hole in the block spacers, and it wouldn't have as much weight. So yeah, there's the 42, there's the spring latch, it sticks out, it doesn't move. Here. And see, so they would have to drill a hole in there, and that would just take out weight overall, and wouldn't really, those block spacers wouldn't really be useful anymore. So there it is. Also, well, actually I'll get to that next, but so this latch here, since it's shaped like a V, they actually call this a V latch, it just bounces off. Very minimal touch. So, it works really well, so it won't get stuck like, for example, this latch. And the 51 does have a spring latch, but mine is broken. Got those two titanium liners right there, and just really haven't had the need or anything to get it fixed, but I will eventually. So yeah. But next, I guess we'll go to the spacers here. First of all, I really like the block spacers. Really adds a lot of weight, balances out the knife really well, and gives it a nice swing. And let's see if I can get this here. Okay, so you see that little mark right there? Right there. That's actually little tiny marks from the blade coming in contact. When the blade doesn't come in contact, but when you are flipping it, sometimes it does. So you do have to keep that in mind. But it's and it has actually teared apart my edge a little bit. As you can see there's all those chips, and that's also a lot from me dropping it. I don't really flip over concrete, but sometimes it goes flying across the room. You can see all the little chips there. So yeah, that, you know, I would almost rather just keep it that way because it gives you a lot of spacers, a lot of weight in the spacers, and cutting down the spacers would give you less weight, and I would just rather have that problem, honestly. But, you know, it's not really that big an issue, for me at least. I don't really use my Alpha Beast to EDC that much. You know, I'll normally, like, if I have it on me, because I'll flip it a lot just for fun. You know, I'll EDC it just to flip. But you know, so yeah. I don't really like these screws too much. There's just a lot of them. You do have to definitely Loctite these and the latch screw. And I still check on them every once in a while. Maybe like once a day out of flipping, just to make sure that they're not coming out. But yeah, then the next thing in here, you can see that little black mark, and that's actually from Blade Rub. And normally you can see it, but sometimes you can wipe it off. Well, you can see it kind of right there, but the Blade Rub's from about here to here on every single Alpha Beast. It's just something that, you know, you can't really get fixed. That just happens. The Alpha Beast 2.0 though, the production Alpha Beast 2.0, should have tighter tolerances and stuff like that, and that should fix a lot of these issues that I'm going over. So keep in mind that if you are planning on getting one of these, you can get the 2.0 version, which you can pre-order on Blade HQ right now for $5 for pre-ordering, and then $364 I believe to actually buy the actual knife. And these will be shipping out actually, I believe this week, the 2.0 version. So yeah, and the lockup here, because I didn't really show that, it's good. I forgot one more thing that I have. An issue that I've had is this latch kind of gets it gets rough around the edges here, and then it tends to stick. Like, let me get it to stick here. It doesn't open position almost more. Yeah, so here. Normally it sticks pretty bad. It's not really sticking too bad right now, mainly because I keep oil in between here and on the latch, so it doesn't really have that issue. But you can kind of see it here. I am having to kind of do some force to be able to get that out. But yeah, so from there, these slots I really like. They just they take away weight in the mid handle here, which you don't really want a lot of weight here. You want weight in the back, a little bit of weight concentrated around the pivots, and you know, it just, you know, like I said, it gives it an overall better balance and swing to it. And but I also think that these slots help a lot for when you're in the middle of combos, and you know, you just get out of a combo, and you know, you just have something to kind of grab there, and it helps you. And maybe if you're going, you know, for a move like this, where you're going to do zero gravity thumb roll to a chaplain, you know, it helps. So for tracking and stuff. But that is something that I do like. And then I guess we'll move up on here to the chevrons, and I really like the chevrons. Again, they help me with a lot of, mainly like fanning and stuff, or anything where I'm having to twist the knife. And then again, they're also good for tracking to see exactly where you're at on the knife. So they're grippy, but not too grippy. And then they also chamfer off right here. So, you know, you can fan really well with this knife. dang it, I keep on hitting that tripod. And yeah, it's you know, it feels nice. But then also what I like up here is that it has a flat surface, so like for twirling and stuff, it feels really nice. And you know, yeah, I really like the feel of that, how it's flat, yet it's still, you know, round. I think it could use a little bit of rounding, and you know, they are working on that on the Alpha Beast, you know, 2.0. So don't worry about that. That will be fixed if you have any issues with it not being very comfortable, because it is, you know, kind of uncomfortable, but like, you definitely do get used to it, and it's really not that big of a deal. I know that Calvin Nation made a big deal about it, but honestly, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I think that he was over-exaggerating a little bit, or it just might, you know, be his preference, you know, mainly preference, but really, it doesn't bang up your hands too bad. So, from there, guess we'll go to, actually no, I do have something about the tank cups. Right when you get it, the tank cups, I really didn't like them. They really bothered me with flipping. But now I can't even tell that they're there. You know, you do adjust everything on this knife. And yeah, and also something that I like is the thickness is like right where I want it. It's where it's not too thick, but it's thick so that, you know, you have a nice you know, grip to it. And it actually is thicker than the 42. It might not look like it here, but it is. So yeah, then I guess we'll go to tang pins. Yeah, I gotta clean my pivots in there. It's just from oiling it. But the tang pins I actually really like. I thought for sure, just because of how small these were, that you know, they weren't really gonna last very well, and you know, the handles were gonna get closer and closer and closer together fast. But honestly, I've had no issue with them whatsoever. I've actually really liked these tang pins. And when I got the knife, this thing was like impossible to lock. The handles were spread apart like that much, like right there. The latch was like right here, so you just have to just go and squeeze as hard as you could and put the latch in place. So, and that is really good. You want that, because tank pins will wear in. You know, Zen pins do. My 51 is living proof right here. Doesn't lock here. Handles touch. So Zen pins do wear in, not as fast as tank pins, but in this case, I think that these tank pins were very well built. I like the spine here. I think that I like how it's nice and flat, you know, but not too flat and not too cornered. But I have found actually, like, I think it was twice, I just barely got cut by screwing up here, but part of that is because on my exact model, you can see there it wasn't machined quite with precision, but you know, you do get that with the first production knife. This is BladeRunner's first ever production knife, and for the first ever production knife, they did a great job. You know, so that's they've really done a great job. Something I really don't like here is the pivots. These are T6, and they're just too small. They strip too easy. Even with an expensive, good quality Torx driver, they still strip pretty easy, and you just gotta be really careful, like extremely careful. But you do get used to that too. So these strip really easy too. I think I have one. I think that one stripped a little bit, not too bad. But yeah, so, but the Alpha Beast 2.0 does fix that issue. These are T8s and these are T6, but you're not going to touch these very much. Just make sure you Loctite these and you won't have to really touch them ever again. I recommend red Loctite on all of this knife if you do have this version. I'm not sure about the 2.0 version with the pivots with the T8 pivots that has. But you know, so like, but also, if you do plan on taking it apart after you've Loctite it, don't Loctite it red, because you're gonna have a really hard time getting that apart. And personally, I actually just used a very small dab of super glue on the end of each screw here. I know that wasn't very smart, but honestly, I have no other need to take it apart. I just need it to stay together. And I was gonna anodize it, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that. So yeah, so I don't know. But what's next? I guess we'll go to the blade. The profile that they put on the blade on the edge, I don't really like it that much. It doesn't really work very well for EDC, and it didn't come very sharp. Some people have said that theirs have came sharp. Honestly, mine could barely even cut paper when I got it, so mine wasn't very sharp. But and I have sharpened this a lot. I got it actually pretty sharp, but I find that the edge is like almost too thick. Like, you know, I don't know. And I just have a Spyderco sharp maker, so I can't really do too much to the edge to get it nice and everything. But yeah, so the blade design and the profile, I really like it. I like this Bowie style blade. It looks nice, and you know, it's a cool looking knife. One thing I also like that I forgot to mention down here that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but mainly like Calvin Nation says that he absolutely hates is that it doesn't have any horns. And yeah, the horns look cool and everything, but honestly I think this knife looks better without it. And you know, I really like not having the horns because just, again, you're flipping everything, you know, it makes everything feel better. I'm not wording this right. It just makes it more comfortable when you're flipping to not have those horns. Horns like on the 42 don't really bother me too much. 51's Zen pins bother me pretty bad sometimes, especially the 62's Zen pins. Those really bother me. But yeah, so, you know, it's just really your preference. I'll talk a little bit more about the tolerances. When I got this knife, the tolerances were nice, you know, and everything. I could get zero play and flip it that way. Then as I used it, the bushings actually wore down completely to where when I tightened it, because with bushings you can tighten it like as much as you want, and it can, like, you can basically have zero play, and you can tighten it you can tighten it down as much as you want without it being too tight, and without, you know, basically like going like this, you know, like the blade is stuck to the pivot with bushings. And I like zero play, I prefer that, but now I've kind of changed a little bit more to where I like, you know, a little bit more of a swing and more of mid play, and you'll see that on here. I have a nice angle right now, but basically down to, you know, like even a couple days ago, before I replaced some of the washers in here, that bushing, those washers wore down so much. And also a lot of this has to do with these pivots here. Everything just wore down so much that when I like did this, it had so much play that the bottom here of this handle would go all the way over to the top of this handle, and the latch would even get like stuck over here when I was flipping it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I ordered some PB phosphorus bronze washers off of knifekits.com, and I stacked those washers up there. Flips great. It has less play. It's a big plus. You know, that won't really happen for a while, but it will happen. So just keep that in mind. And I'm not sure what the new Alpha Beast 2.0 is like. I bet that will, that they'll fix that issue. So I heard that it has a lot tighter tolerances and it is rounded off more. So yeah. But which one do I like more? The 42 or the Alpha Beast? And the answer is easy. The Alpha Beast by far. The Alpha Beast weighs a little bit more. It weighs 5.1 ounces compared to 4.1 ounces. So it is a little bit slower, but personally, I can still get it up to some pretty fast speeds, and you just have a lot more momentum compared to with the 42, because you have these nice huge block spacers back here. And I like the 42 a lot. It's my second favorite, balisong that I have, but I prefer the Alpha Beast by far for flipping. So yeah, it really all weighs out to with how I feel, like how I want to flip. Like this would be more for aerials here and for more speed oriented, and this would be for more technical, smoother like type stuff, like transfers or stuff like that. And it's good to have variety in your knife collection. It's good to have a lot of different knives to choose from, stuff that's good at twirling, stuff that's good at aerials, and then a knife like this that's just an absolute tank that is really good for technical tricks, and that just carries a lot of momentum. So yeah, I think I'll do more of a comparison here with some knives. Got the Spiderfly. So the Spiderfly is a bit longer. Not by much, but it is. And like I already showed, 42. Mira. And the 51. And I do have more knives, but I don't really feel like pointing them out right now. So this is just what I have around. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and definitely recommend this knife for the money. I think it is well worth it. Like I said, it's mainly it's designed for flipping and not really EDCing, but it can be used for actually using. So, but if you are actually going to get a balisong to use, I prefer a Benchmade or maybe the Bradley Mayhem. But this can still be used for actually using. And plus, if you profile the edge, you won't have that issue, and you can use it for both. So, just my preference. Like I said, great knife. Not trying to bash it at all. And thanks BRS for just coming out with this awesome knife. And everyone wants. Who can't really afford an Alpha Beast, I recommend getting their next knife, the Replicant. That is a G10 titanium knife that will be a lot more cheaper and probably even flip better. So, and then they're having something that's going to come out. It's going to be around $80 like the Chimera. So, yeah, great knife. Really like it. I recommend getting it, especially the 2.0 version. I'm jealous for everyone who's getting one of those. yeah, great knife.